What's up, guys? Mystic Frost here. So, a couple of things. First of all, where have I been? As you can tell by the thumbnail of this video, I've been to a regional. However, that only explains this week. For the 2 weeks before that, just a bit of burnout, in all honesty. I went 5-0 at locals 3 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago now. And then the following week, I just felt exhausted. So me and some friends decided to go play some golf instead, take a mental health day, and just relax and recharge those batteries. Then the following week, I went to locals. It was a weekend where my son goes with me, and he wasn't feeling too well. He wanted to try and push through it, but after 2 rounds, he wasn't feeling well. So we dropped and we cut and we went home. And then last week, we went to Peterborough for the regional tournament. We went with the guys. We went with David and Isaac. Isaac you've seen on the channel. I've spoken about him before. And David runs MPEX with Wally, who I sell cards on behalf of. So most of the cards I sell are their cards, and I get a cut for selling. So thank you, MPEX. Regionals, what can I say? Different experience altogether as a player, let alone as a judge. When I judge the events, it's one thing, but going in as a player, I sat down before my first round even started and I thought, oh, I'm in over my head. And then game one went terrible. We was against Full Power Kashtira. Obviously, we expect to see a lot of shifters, and shifter hurts illusion just as much as it hurts snake eyes. Game one, he literally dropped shifter in the draw phase. I won the dice roll, dropped shifter in draw phase. I put up a board, not a lot I could do, and he just steamrolled me. Game two, his turn, drops the shifter again. Game two, I go first because I lost. Drops the shifter again in the standby phase. I managed to set up a bit of a better board. We had a little bit more of an interactive game, but we got it down to a simplified game state. I top deck Branded Fusion. Both our buzzers were banished. So I had to scoop that up, and we started the day off with a loss. Then round two was very interesting. We both got technical fouls. I took the game 2-0, we was against Florunderies, and my opponent was a lovely person. I didn't really explain his cards all too well. Game one, I activated the Super Poly when I didn't have a Super Poly target. I thought all the birds were wind and wing beasts. They're not. There are some water ones. So I didn't have a Super Poly target. So I called the judge. My opponent didn't. I did. I called the judge on myself. Because at the end of the day, as a judge, you've got to be honest. You've got to take your lumps. And at the end of the day, I'd much rather get that warning there for something I deserved than my opponent possibly trying to shark me for sake later on. So, be upfront, be honest. And that's what I did. I took the game anyway. And then we get to game two. Game two comes. We've got just over 5 minutes left on the clock. And he links off into Lingaribo. At this point, I've got about 1,050 more life points than him. He links off into Lingaribo and then activates Pot of Duality. Anyone who knows Pot of Duality knows that you cannot special summon the turn you activate it. So if you've already special summoned, tough, you're not activating it, and vice versa. Before anything could be said though, he revealed the top 3 cards of his deck and added a card to hand. I had to call a judge. It was a repairable game state, but at the end of the day, I now have card advantage and card knowledge that I shouldn't have. So we call the judge over. The judge fixes the game, takes him about 2.5 minutes to repair the game state to where it should be. Because you're in the last 5 minutes, you cannot give a time extension longer than what's left on the round. A lot of people don't know that. So because there was just under 2.5 minutes left, he could not give us a time extension for that time. And as such, my opponent had to pass on his Lingaribo. Time, it rolled around to my turn. I did my play. Time was called, and we took that game 2-0. So there we have it. Round 3, my opponent, most probably my favourite opponent of the day, he opened Kashtira board, started off with Unicorn. I dropped the Imperm. He set one and passed. Oh, sorry, he shifted me as well. Shifted, spec the Unicorn, set one, pass. It's like, great. But we played through it, and we actually took the game. We clapped him up 1-0. We went Guardian Chimera. We popped both his Unicorn and his back row, and we was able to do something. Game 2, I don't know if he smoke screened the cash stuff out, because we didn't see any of it. Game 2 was all Fire King, Snake Eyes. So unless he's playing a Fire King, Snake Eye, Kashtira deck, what? So he lost, he chose to go first. He normal summoned Ash, Snake Eye Ash. I dropped the Effect Veiler. My starting hand was 2 Effect Veilers and Imperm, Ash Blossom, and Cornfield Coat. Also had 4 hand traps and a starter. So he normal summoned the Ash. I dropped the Effect Veiler. He activates the spell card, I can't remember what it was, but it was to search. I dropped the Ash. He still carries on going. He goes into the Lingaribo. Then he goes into the IP Masquerena. And that was summon number 5. And on there, I had the option of drop the nib and hope he couldn't extend further, or let him fully extend, then drop the nib. I decided to drop the nib then, and my thought reason behind that is because as soon as Promethean Princess hits the field, he can bring back the Flamberge Dragon, which was now in Grave, which would then recycle as level 1s. I couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk him gaining that much advantage, so I dropped the nib, and I thought he could still quick effect IP, go into the Princess, let the Princess go to Grave, and then when I spec on my turn, you can special summon it back. If he had a Pyro monster, if he had any other Pyros in hand. I'm guessing he didn't. Actually, that's a lie. I know he didn't because he had no other cards in hand, so ignore that. So he passed on the token with 800 attack, no, 1100 attack and 0 defense. Drift turn, did Kotal, did my play, cleared the token, managed to get about 5,000-6,000 points of damage. And I'm left with an Effect Veiler and in hand and a Chimera Fusion set on field. So it comes to his turn. He top decks Bonfire. What a top deck. From there, he activates Bonfire to search Popular. Snake Eye Popular effect to spec itself when added to hand. I drop the Effect Veiler. He scoops. We take that game 2-0, and we're now 2-1 in the tournament. Game 4, we go up against somebody who's already got their invite. They came to Geek Retreat where we play for the last OTS and came second place, so he's already got his invite. And he is also on Florundaries. So my regional experience was literally, what flavour of shifter do you want? But from there, he took the first game. I would say it was close. It wasn't close. I put up some negates and some stalls, but that's all it was. It was just stalling. I took game 2, and then game 3, I misplayed horribly. He would have still won the game. I'm not copping out here. The way he played that deck compared to how I was playing, he was going to take that game every day of the week. But I made some horrible misplays, which made me not feel bad. I think that's the wrong choice of words. But I felt bad about my performance because it showed me not being a capable duelist that I know I am. So that kind of left a little, not sour taste, but it did bring my mood down a little bit. But at that point, the other boys, Isaac was 1 win, 3 losses. David was 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. So they weren't getting their invites either way at that point. I could have maybe kept playing to get my invite, but I would have had to have won all 3 of my other games. I don't know if I would. It all depends on the matchup. But we decided to call it a day and go home. So I was happy with that decision because it was nearly an hour drive home. And then we was dropping the boys off and then going home myself. So even though we left the area at 4, I didn't get home till nearly 7. But all in all, it was great fun, great experience, and I'll definitely do it again. And I feel more prepared mentally for next time, because when I walked into that game 1, I thought I didn't belong. I thought I'm a judge, not a player. But now I feel like a player. And with the new product that's just been released, it's not Phantom Nightmare. Oh, what? Legacy of Destruction. That's just been released. We have Nightmare Apprentice. We have Diabol's The Original Sin. Both are illusions. One is a 3 of, one is a 1 of. You can guess which one's which. And I've already got my play sets lined up. So I've got 2 Nightmare Illusions already. The second one arrived today. And I'm getting the third one off the guys over at MPEX on Sunday when I get to locals. We've lined up a trade for my Low the Voiceless Voice. And the Diabol's has been ordered. Should arrive by Saturday. And then from there, I'm going to rebuild this deck. And we are going to take illusions to the next level with what we've got. So I'm really excited to show you what we're going to do with the deck. And hopefully on Sunday when we go to locals, we'll be playing a brand new but same deck. And that is exciting. But for now, I'm going to show you the deck list that I used for the regionals. I hope you enjoy the deck list. And if you have any questions, by all means, drop them down below. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Okay guys, so here we are with our deck list. So of course, we are on the 3 Chimera Fusions as standard, along with our 3 Mirror Sword Knights, our 3 Cornfield Cotals, our 3 Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws, our 2 Big Wing Berthomets, our 1 Master Tau, the Chandler, and Nightmare Magician. Yes, I took Nightmare Magician to the regional because he is my boy. He is one of my favourite cards, and damn it, I'd rather lose playing cards that I enjoy than win with a boring ass deck. Our 2 Fallen Valbazes, our 3 Branded Fusions. I still need to get some more alties of that. Our 3 Super Polys. And then this is where the deck has changed a little bit. We fit back in our 2 copies of Fenrir Kashtira. Fenrir, sorry. Our 3 Cross-Out Designators. Our 3 Ash Blossoms. We are maining Nibiru. We have our 2 Effect Veilers, mainly as cross-out targets, but also if you draw it off the Guardian Chimera, they're live. Our 2 Imperms, and then 1 Quilled by the Grave. So this is a 40 card build. So I was very happy we was able to get that in a 40 card. Sorry, I didn't get the extra deck out, so I'm just going to get that out now. So this ain't going to be in any feasible order, so bear with me. So of course we have our 2 copies of Chimera. There he is. Then we have our 1 copy of Chimera, the Illusion Beast. I was able to OTK a couple of players with that as well, which was nice. 2 copies of Berthomet, which is pretty standard at this stage. 1 Magnan the Reliever, and our 1 Guardian Chimera, just to round that package off. Then we have our 1 Lubellion, our 1 Albion, our 1 Mirrorjade, and our 1 Ribbon. And then of course our Super Poly targets, Predaplant, Draco Stapelia, Muddragon and Swamp, which has now been upgraded to a 1/4 century. Very nice. And our 1 Garura, Wings of the Resonant Life. And for the 15th slot, of course, our still 1 copy of Typhoon. In the side, normally I don't show the side, but you know, why not? We have our 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 3 copies of Evenly Matched, 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Honestly, I cannot wait for Rarity Collection 2 to get them in secret. 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. I don't know if they're going to stay or not. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. And then our Floodgate monsters. So our King Tiger Wagyu, End of Anubis, and Invader of Darkness. Now, in the regionals, these 2 did not come up at all, because there was no deck that I played where shutting off the graveyard would hurt them more than it hurt me, and I didn't get paired against Runic. This, however, I did side in against Flu both games, and it did come up both games. So King Tiger definitely putting in the work as the newest member. But that is our deck list. If you have any questions, please drop them below. And I've had many times from our students. So shout out to KSA students. I hope you enjoyed. But I will catch you guys next week after the winner map.